Hello guys, and welcome. It is ThatSrb2DUDE here today, bringing you yet another Splatoon 2 video. Today is the patch comparison for version 5.1 to version 5.2. I do not have the longest synopsis of what I think of this patch at the very end of this video because personally I don't think much has changed. But either way, let's go through the notes just to see what's changed and see the differences and all that. And yeah, let's get into it. Starting off with the 52 gal, the likelihood of turf being painted around your feet has been increased. For the splat roller, they have slightly extended the splash of the ink from swinging sideways. For the flingser roller, they have reduced the time required to swing the weapon overhead in a vertical swing by 3 frames. For the tri-slusher, they've reduced the interval at which you can repeatedly swing by roughly 2 frames. For the heavy splatling, they have decreased the variance of shot spread when firing while on the ground by roughly 6%. Basically, the heavy splatling is a little bit more accurate. For the splat dualies, they have slightly widened the spread of inks created by shots. Basically, the spread of paint droplets have been increased. For the Gluga dualies, they have decreased the amount of ink consumption from shots by roughly 7%. Overall, making the Gluga dualies much more ink efficient. For the Squiffer, they have reduced the time from releasing a charged shot to being ready to shoot by roughly 1 frame, slightly making it quicker to actually go ahead and charge up another shot. For the unscoped Splat Charger and unscoped Elite 4K, they have reduced the time of releasing a charged shot to being ready to shoot by roughly 2 frames of a second. Basically the same as the Squiffer, but 2 frames faster. This, however, does not apply to the Splatter scope or the Elite 4K scope. These weapons also have a slightly different change to them. They have also very slightly narrowed the width of ink created by a fully charged shot. This, however, does not include shots that aren't fully charged. For the ballpoint splatling, they have reduced the movement speed by roughly 10% when charging and also firing in close range with this weapon, making it slightly slower than it used to be. They have also reduced the velocity of ink over a long distance by 4% and also have reduced the range by 4%, making the bullets travel slower and of course just having less range in general. For the Tempt Umbrella, they have increased the ink consumption of shots by roughly 10%, and they have also extended the time it takes to restore the umbrella portion after launching it, or it being destroyed by roughly 40 frames of a second. For the Bubble Blower, they have extended the time until a bubble pops naturally by roughly 2 seconds. They've reduced the size of the first and second bubbles. The first bubble is the smallest, the second bubble is the slightly larger one, and the third bubble is the size that we all knew before. For Baller, all lightweight weapons are now slightly faster, which would include the Aerospray, Lunar Blaster, Ink Brush, and Undercover Umbrella. As you can see in the example, the Baller moves quite fast. However, for the heavy weapons, which is only the Custom Explosher, they have reduced the movement speed within Baller by 14%, making it a much slower Baller in comparison. All other weapons that have Baller have remained the same. They've also slightly extended the time you have to hold down the ZR button to unleash a Baller by roughly 16 frames. And lastly, Toxic Mist has received a small buff in relation to Ballers. The effects of Toxic Mist will now affect them, making them slower to move around in the Toxic Mist. And that is basically everything that we have received from this patch. Now personally, as I said in the start of this video, I don't exactly have a big synopsis of what I think of this overall. Personally, I feel like a couple of things have been left out, maybe like the custom range blaster being just a little bit faster just by a few frames, like they did to Lunar Blaster. Maybe the Elia, of course, longer range, a little bit that, you know, that's something personally I would love. And the ink armor in general, I think, is probably something I feel like needs to be changed in some way or reworked. And of course, the main power-up stuff with damage being shot to the limit, you know, I don't think that should be possible with any sort of weapon. But aside from that, what is the stuff from this patch that we can really talk about? The 52 gal patch, really nice. Roller's really nice. Flingser roller, really nice. Tri-Slusher, I've been seeing a lot of people use that more, but I don't think it's going to be much different. It's just, you know, it's just 2 frames faster to kill, so cool. The heavy splatling more accurate. Maybe more people will use that in consideration for the ballpoint being a little bit slower. So maybe more people might start using the heavy remix overall. But personally, I still think ballpoint's gonna be really strong, despite being it being 10% slower and having 4% less range. So I think it's still gonna be strong either way. Scrolling down again, the Glugas, cool efficiency, that's just nice. Splat Dualies, it paints a little bit better now, I guess. Classic Swiffer, Splat Charger, Splatoscope, basically all the charges that are Bamboo and Goo Tuber. These are very little things that you're probably not even going to notice too much, and that's, I mean, it's slightly faster in a way, but you're not really not going to notice it too much. And scrolling down, lastly, would be the Tentebrella. I like what they've done to this nerf in a way, is that they basically made the umbrella portion after launching 40 frames longer. So this basically gives you more of an opening for Tentebrellas to actually take them out, because beforehand, I mean before this obviously, if you were to shoot a Tentebrella and you just go along with it, you would recover your Tentebrella already, while you already have your other Tentebrella like moving and protecting you and all that type of stuff. So it's kind of a thing to basically give players are trying to fight against a Tentebrella some form of an opening to actually take it out, instead of it just being fully protected 24/7. And the increased ink consumption, I mean, sure, 10% is basically one less shot. I believe if you put like 2 subs of main saver, it gets back to that regular 10 shot again. So don't quote me on that, but I think it's around that range off the top of my head. The Toxic Mist buff, that's quite nice, you know, it gives more reason to use Toxic Mist against ballers. The baller buff in general, the Aerospray RG, the Lunar Blaster, Ink Brush Nouveau, and Undercover Umbrella, basically a buff to all of those weapons. Really nice for the Lunar Blaster, so I mean of course you have a much faster baller. And going forth, the Custom Exposure, I mean, the Custom Exposure didn't really deserve that, but it's okay, just fine. I mean, I don't really think people really use the baller for custom exposure to be super aggressive anyway. It's more of a thing to like defend yourself with, so it's not the worst thing in the world, I guess. And lastly would be the Bubble Blower. I've seen some really strange things going around saying the Bubble Blower is dead. No, it's not. I myself probably even got some things wrong with it. Mainly because I thought this was going to be a patch to kind of nerf the insta-pop thing that happens. And honestly, that insta-pop is still there despite that. Even though the first bubble and the second bubble are smaller, they aren't reduced to a significant amount in comparison. Like if you were to even put like 2 mains, 3 subs, well actually no, what am I talking about? A main and 3 subs of special power up. Honestly, I doubt you even noticed the difference of the bubbles now to the bubbles you had before. So it's technically nerfed, but not really nerfed to really any degree. It's probably nerfed by less than 1% in my very humble opinion. And basically now bubbles are also buffed in more of a sense, since they now stay within the air for 2 seconds longer. So that is also a thing that you gotta watch out for now for the bubbles. Those are basically my thoughts. As I said, it's not the longest one. If you are hoping for a really long, in-depth explanation, there really isn't much. I'm not gonna lie. There's been a lot of changes, but there really isn't that much. So apart from everything I said, that's all I think about it. And that's all I gotta say. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed looking at the comparisons of version 5.1 to version 5.2. If you did enjoy this video, please like, favorite, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Follow me on Twitter and Twitch, both in the description below. Do it for both if you're feeling generous. Make sure to hit the bell notification button next to the subscription button, where you can be updated with every single video that I do upload. And also consider joining my public Discord, where you can go ahead and talk to myself and my Dude Society community. With all that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I shall see you guys in a future one.